Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. We have an Ask the Expert segment with Watson's Pharmacy. Scott and Kate are joining us this morning. The number to call, 789-6559, extension 2803. You can always send us an email at our email, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, or a message via Facebook. All right, as we were heading into the commercial break, we hit on the cream right at the very last second. So I want to just ask, because this is a really neat, quick story behind it.
So there's George he was my uncle in Calgary, and he had a pharmacy in Calgary, and he's actually what got me into pharmacy when I was a young guy growing up. But what happened was a dermatologist came from Ontario to Calgary, and he experienced the dryness that's out there, and said that none of these commercial products are working, George, can you make me something? And George went into the lab, and he just figured out something, and this is what he came up with, and it's one of the most it's the best-selling cream in Alberta, and
wow.
If anybody's ever been to Alberta, it's incredibly dry. You get off the plane and you can just feel it in your lips. But this cream really does work. It's urea-free, it's scent-free, so it's a really good cream. And anybody that comes into the pharmacy and they have cracked, dry skin, that's always what I go to.
This is where you go.
So it's.
All right, let's quickly hit on some of the other suggestions that you had for us, taking care of ourselves from the inside out.
For the dry skin, I always like to recommend some kind of fish oil product, or just eating more fish in your diet, because those omega-3s do help a lot with fighting dry skin. Mums that come in and their children are out at the park and they're getting a little bit of runny nose and they're getting that red, irritated skin. There used to be a very good product called Prevex that just doesn't seem to be available now. So the one that I've found is a nice one is the Cetaphil, and it's the barrier cream that I like to recommend.
Going on before you actually head outside.
That's right. It just if the red skin is already red and irritated, it just kind of puts this little barrier just to protect it a little bit more. So
great.
Now, fighting colds and flus, that's like, what can we do? And we kind of touch on this just about every year, but I like to say vitamin D, vitamin C. There are many immune stimulants out there. People know about the cold effects that came out of Alberta again. Echinacea, some old tried and tested. These types of things, great things to do. If people want to do them, I think it's a great idea. Only if people have any kind of arthritis or anything when the doctor says you have an itis, which is an inflammatory condition, be careful, because if we stimulate our immune system, that can cause problems.
So something to be, yes. Maybe ask the questions as you're heading in and say, listen, this is, I have arthritis, or these are my concerns, and you'll know which products are right to take.
Discuss that with me or your pharmacist. Okay, moving on. So we do get a cold, we get that sore throat. The zinc lozenges, I really like to recommend zinc. It tastes horrible, and they do get that metallic taste, but you know what? Zinc helps to heal. And it also has a fighting, it helps you fight viruses. So not only can you get it in a lozenge, but you can actually take it as a supplement. And some people do that every day from November to April. And it helps them stave off colds and flus. New ones that I found out this year were honey. Honey is just as good as some of the cough suppressants out there. So some moms that don't want to use dextromethorphan or whatnot, they can just use honey, and there's commercial products. But I think you can also just use honey from the grocery store. I did find one, a doctor recommended somebody try this. It's called Ulone, and it's similar to an antihistamine like Benadryl, but it's actually a cough syrup, and it seems to be wonderful. The feedback that I've been getting back is people have been trying the old Benylins and the Robitussin. They haven't been helping, but they tried this and it did.
That was one. Some great products to choose from right now. I know we're going to have a Facebook question in just a little bit, but we're going to go to the phone first, and I do believe Susan's online. So Susan, good morning. What's your question?
Good morning. I'm looking for some help with rosacea.
Oh, yeah.
Fair-skinned, very bad rosacea this winter, and I guess this weather's just wreaking havoc on my tender skin. So I just wondered if you could recommend something for that.
So people that suffer from rosacea, it's very tough to treat. And I think the best thing you can do is sometimes you definitely want to work with your doctor, because there are certain medicated skin creams that doctors can recommend that do a great job. But again, they're on prescription, so you do have to work with your doctor. Working with just your pharmacist, I've seen people try, there's anti-redness creams, there's various types of creams that you can get in the pharmacy, and it does work for certain people, but it's kind of just a trial, so you have to give it a try and then go on to the next one if that doesn't help. For example, there are some just water sprays that some people say that's all I need to do. So
Water spray.
yeah, there's like this Avene body water spray that can help with people with rosacea. So go into your pharmacy and check it out. And if you come to my pharmacy, I can show you some that seem to help a lot of people.
Perfect. Susan, I hope that answered your question. We do have to take a short commercial break. We'll be back. We're going to get to that Facebook question that we have too. And interesting, and I still have one more question to ask you. There's a frog here on set. So that's how you can get a hold of us for Ask the Expert. We'll be back with Watson's Pharmacy right after this.